WNBA is supposed to be looking at everything and how it's supposed to be showing love to Caitlin Clark as a superstar, more importantly, as a global icon. They have been single-handedly showing Caitlin Clark the most love that we didn't see any basketball organization show her. And if it's posts, if it's anything, they make sure they deliberately let us know Caitlin Clark is the star of the team. Hence why you have a pinned video of Caitlin Clark on their page, bro. Let's go to the WNBA real quick before we talk about these FIFA basketball voting.
The numbers just dropped, and the basketball world is in a total tailspin because Caitlin Clark is officially winning the FIBA MVP vote, while her own league seems to be erasing her from existence. It is the most blatant disrespect we have ever seen in professional sports, where a global icon is being treated like a bench warmer by the very organization she is supposed to be carrying. While the international stage pins her videos and celebrates her logo threes, the domestic front is acting like they do not even know her name. This is not just a voting race anymore. It is a full-scale civil war for the soul of the game, and the fans are finally taking a stand against the hypocrisy that is threatening to bury the biggest star the sport has ever seen.
Shout out to Aaliyah Boston. Where's Caitlin Clark at? Now you see the hypocrisy. Where's Caitlin at? Where Caitlin at? I don't see Caitlin. Where Caitlin at, bruh? Right here. And then they don't have no highlights of Caitlin Clark shooting no logo threes. The league she played for don't have any highlights of CC shooting any logo threes. Why is that? Why is that? I don't know. But it's looking very spooky for the W.
Look at the receipts, because the contrast is absolutely sickening for anyone who actually loves the game of basketball. When you go to the FIBA World Basketball accounts, they are going out of their way to show Caitlin Clark the most love possible as a global superstar. They have her highlights front and center, they have her pinned to the top of their page, and they are making sure every single person on the planet knows she is the star of the show. Meanwhile, you flip over to the official WNBA accounts, and it is a total ghost town for Clark content. No logo threes, no highlights of her daggers, and no acknowledgement of the impact she is having on the ratings. It is a deliberate blackout that makes you wonder what exactly is going on behind those closed doors.
Don't lie to you, because soon as you click on FIFA, you see CC3. Look at it. Look at this. CC logo 3. Now, this is the MVP stuff that we're going to get into, but I just wanted to point something out to y'all, man. This is crazy to me, dog, that they show more love for Caitlin Clark. Look, here go another video of Caitlin. Another video of Caitlin. Look at this. CC. Dagger. Bang. Now, let's get to the MVP conversation. So, insane level of talent. Who's been your send?
The challenge is real, and it is coming from a familiar face that has the entire basketball community holding its breath. Paige Buchers has officially moved into the second spot in the MVP race, and she is putting Caitlin Clark on notice that the crown is up for grabs. This is not just about a popularity contest, it is about the fact that Paige is leading a team that is currently dismantling their competition with surgical precision. While the world debates who the best individual player is, Paige is proving that she can command the floor and lead her squad to heights that most players only dream of. The gap in the voting is shrinking by the minute, and the tension between these two fan bases is reaching a breaking point that no one saw coming so soon.
Yes. Okay, this is it right here. I placed my vote for CC, so you just click on this arrow and you vote for CC. You go to FIFA World Basketball X account, you click there and you vote. Currently right now, Caitlin Clark is winning. Who's coming in second? Paige. Then we got Raquel. Then we got Angel Reese in fourth. Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard should be way above Angel Reese. Let me see. Can I vote again? She's supposed to be way above Angel Reese. I'm sorry. Ryan Howard been balling. Maria, I don't even know a lot of these ladies' names. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Then we got Meg.
The hypocrisy coming from the professional ranks is enough to make any fan lose their mind when you see how they are handling their biggest asset. If you click on the official accounts for the American League, you see Aaliyah Boston and you see other stars, which is great, but where is the face of the movement? There is not a single highlight of those signature logo threes that have redefined how the game is played. It is almost like they are trying to suppress the hype instead of leaning into it, which is the exact opposite of what FIBA is doing. The international community sees the value in what Caitlin brings to the table, yet the very league she represents is acting like she is just another name on the roster. It looks very strange to everyone watching.
Clark is potentially finna win this MVP, and she has yet to be at the podium to talk to reporters on the big stage. Y'all don't find that to be a little odd? I find that to be a little weird. And I think y'all should too. You know, for them changing Caitlin Clark's position, doing all of these different said things to let us know they're not rocking with CC. For whatever reason, man. I'm not here to point fingers. I'm just here to let y'all know what is happening in the streets. And what is happening in the streets is telling me that
let us break down the current leaderboard because the rankings are starting to ruffle some feathers among the diehard fans. Currently, Caitlin Clark is sitting at the top of the mountain, but the names following her are sparking a massive debate across social media. Paige Brokers is holding down that second spot, showing that her impact is undeniable even with the Clark phenomenon in full effect. But then you look at the rest of the list and see names like Rain Howard and Angel Reese. There is a lot of chatter that Rain Howard should be ranked much higher than 4th, especially considering the level she has been playing at lately. The fans are noticing the discrepancies, and they are not staying silent about who they think truly deserves the recognition.
Chance to win it all, according to the ESPN Analytics. Remember, they are undefeated. That's according to ESPN Analytics. No other team has a better than 15% chance to win it all. So, Andrea, would you go UConn or the field this morning as you wake up?
I'm going UConn, and I know that sounds crazy because anything can happen in the NCAA tournament and upsets happen and these stories can be magical. I'm not saying it's impossible for a team to beat UConn. I am saying it's not probable. I am going UConn over the field. To me, game planning against the versatility of Sarah Strong, that young woman right there who is so skilled. She is the size of a big with the skills.
There is a massive movement happening right now to send 1 million people over to vote because the fans feel like they have to protect Caitlin Clark from her own league. She has earned the right to be the MVP because she is currently beating out every single person in points, assists, and overall player efficiency. The stats do not lie, even if the marketing teams want to look the other way. When you are leading the entire field in every major category, there should not even be a debate about who the most valuable player is. Yet, here we are, watching the fans have to fight tooth and nail just to make sure the objective truth is reflected in the voting booths. It is a grassroots effort to ensure that greatness is not overlooked because of internal politics.
That young woman right there who is so skilled. She is the size of a big with the skills of a guard. She's second in the team in assists. She's shooting almost 60, 40, 90 from the field alongside AZ Fudd, who's shooting 45% from 3. To me, this UConn team, the versatility they have with their lineups, the way that they play together on both ends of the floor, they're peaking at the right time. I don't see a team touching UConn. Again, it's not impossible, but it's not probable. I would take UConn.
I'm rolling with you as well, and I don't think that's far-fetched to say. I just think that when you look at the greatness, I mean, you got Fudd, who's a player.
One of the most bizarre things about this entire situation is that Caitlin Clark is potentially going to win this global MVP award without ever being given the chance to speak to reporters on the big stage. Think about how weird that is for a moment. You have the most popular player in the world, the person everyone wants to hear from, and she has yet to be at the podium to talk to the media. It is almost as if there is a concerted effort to keep her away from the microphone and limit her exposure. Fans are finding this to be incredibly odd, and they are starting to point fingers at the people running the show. You cannot hide a superstar forever, especially when the entire world is screaming her name and casting millions of votes in her favor.
You're going to beat them. Here's how you can beat UConn, which is a long shot, to say the least. You could be stingy defensively in terms of forcing turnovers and stuff like that, like Texas is capable of doing, or Lauren Betts at UCLA, who I just had the pleasure of interviewing about a little over a week ago. So I mean, I look at UCLA and their size. They complemented that with some perimeter shooting this year, and I think that they would probably give UConn a better matchup than they did last year in the Final Four. I would give UCLA a chance. I think that UCLA to me is between them and Texas being the second best team in the country. I just look at it.
While the drama unfolds in the MVP race, the UConn Huskies are making headlines for putting their hands and feet all over the competition. The word on the street is that they are laying a serious beatdown on anyone who steps on the court with them. According to the latest ESPN analytics, UConn is coming into the tournament with a staggering 48% chance to win the entire thing. To put that in perspective, no other team in the field has better than a 15% chance. They are currently undefeated and playing with a level of intensity that is frankly terrifying for the rest of the bracket. They are not just winning games, they are sending a message that the championship trophy already has their name engraved on the side of it. A huge part of that UConn dominance comes down to the sheer versatility of a player like Sarah Strong. This young woman is an absolute nightmare to game plan against because she has the physical size of a traditional big but the elite skills of a high-level guard. She is currently second on the team in assists and is shooting nearly 60% from the field. When you have someone that big who can handle the rock and facilitate the offense like a floor general, it breaks every defensive scheme in the book. She is the ultimate chess piece for a coach who knows exactly how to exploit every mismatch on the floor. Watching her play is like watching the future of the sport unfold in real time, and she is a major reason why Paige has such a strong support system. You also have to talk about the firepower they are bringing from the perimeter because it is absolutely lethal for any defense trying to zone them up. Azzi Fudd is currently shooting a staggering 45% from the three-point line, which makes it nearly impossible to help off her when the ball moves. She is the kind of player that can put a game away in a 3-minute stretch if you leave her an inch of daylight. When you pair her shooting with the inside presence they have, you start to see why the analytics are favoring them so heavily. It is a pick your poison situation for every opposing coach in the tournament, and so far nobody has found the right antidote to stop the bleeding once UConn starts their run. The defensive pressure this squad applies is something that needs to be studied because they are forcing nearly 24 turnovers every single game. They are not just sitting back in a shell, they are aggressive, they are in your face, and they are turning those mistakes into easy points. On average, they are scoring 33 points per game off of their opponent's turnovers. That is a massive chunk of their offensive output that comes strictly from their defensive hustle. It is hard to get into any kind of offensive rhythm when you are constantly worried about the ball being ripped away from you. They force you to start your offense way too deep away from the basket, and that is where the frustration starts to set in for the other team. Despite the heavy favorites, there are a few teams that might actually have a shot at giving UConn a run for their money if they play a near perfect game. You have to look at a team like Texas, which is known for being incredibly stingy on the defensive end. They are one of the few squads capable of matching that intensity and forcing some turnovers of their own. Then you have UCLA, who has a massive advantage in the paint with someone like Lauren Betts. I recently had the chance to interview her, and the size she brings to the interior is something that can cause real problems, even for a team as disciplined as the Huskies. If UCLA can capitalize on the glass and protect the ball, they might be the dark horse that everyone is overlooking right now. The potential matchup between UConn and South Carolina in the Final Four is what everyone is circling on their calendars right now. That is the collision of two titans that would likely determine who takes home the national title. South Carolina is legendary for their depth and their physical style of play, but UConn is peaking at exactly the right time. When you have two programs of this caliber going head to head, it usually comes down to which team blinks first under the bright lights. It is a long shot to say anyone can beat the Huskies right now, but if there is a team that can do it, they are going to have to play the best 40 minutes of their lives. The margin for error is essentially zero when you are facing a machine this well oiled. You can never bet against a Gino Auriemma team when the stakes are this high because the man is a literal legend for a reason. We are talking about a program that is entering its 24th Final Four and already has 12 national championships in the trophy case. They have made 31 consecutive trips to the Sweet 16, a record of consistency that is almost impossible to wrap your head around. Gino knows exactly how to push the right buttons to get his players focused when the tournament kicks off. He has seen every defense, every trick, and every superstar imaginable. When you combine that coaching experience with the raw talent they have on the roster this year, it becomes very difficult to imagine them hoisting anything other than the championship trophy. The streets are talking, and they are saying that the way Caitlin Clark is being treated is a direct reflection of the internal politics within the basketball world. There is a feeling that some people are not rocking with her for whatever reason, and they are trying to diminish her impact even as she brings in record-breaking crowds. It is a dangerous game to play when the fans are clearly telling you what they want to see. The demand for Clark content is at an all-time high, yet the powers that be seem to be trying to pivot away from her. It is an interesting situation to watch play out because the more they try to hide her, the more the fans rally to her side. It is a backfire of epic proportions that is only making her more of a legend. Let us get back to the MVP voting because there are some names on that list that are confusing a lot of people who follow the world stage. You have some ladies on there with names that most casual fans have never even heard of, yet they are sitting in the top 10. Meanwhile, stars like Jackie Young are doing okay but are not getting nearly the same level of traction as the top 2. It really shows the power of a dedicated fan base and how much people are willing to go to bat for their favorite players. Currently, the gap between Clark and the field is significant, but with Paige closing in, every single day brings a new wave of votes that could shift the entire balance of power before the final deadline. The logo threes that the WNBA refuses to show are exactly what the fans are craving because they represent the excitement and the wow factor of the modern game. When Caitlin pulls up from the logo and drains a dagger, it sends a shockwave through the arena and across social media. These are the moments that go viral and bring new eyes to the sport. By choosing not to highlight these plays, the league is essentially turning down free marketing. Luckily, the fans are doing the work for them, clipping the videos and sharing them across every platform until the truth cannot be ignored. The highlights are out there and they prove that what we are seeing is a once-in-a-generation talent that deserves every bit of the hype. It is very telling that the international community is the one leading the charge in celebrating American talent while the domestic organizations seem to be dragging their feet. FIBA is showing the blueprint for how you handle a superstar of this magnitude. You embrace the personality, you highlight the signature plays, and you give the fans a way to interact through voting and engagement. It is a simple formula that seems to be lost on the WNBA right now. The fans are noticing the hypocrisy, and it is starting to create a rift between the league and the people who actually buy the tickets and watch the games. You cannot claim to want growth while simultaneously suppressing the person who is driving that growth. The NCAA tournament is about to kick off, and we are going to be covering every single moment of the action as these storylines converge. This is where legends are made and where the MVP conversation really gets pushed to the limit. If Paige can lead UConn to another title while maintaining this level of individual dominance, the argument for her being the best in the world is only going to get stronger. On the flip side, if Caitlin continues to shatter records and win the hearts of the global audience, she might become untouchable regardless of what the internal critics say. We are entering the most exciting month of the year for basketball fans, and the stakes have never been higher for these young stars. We want to see the best players on the biggest stage, and we want them to be given the respect they have earned through their hard work and dedication. Whether it is the FIBA voting or the tournament run, the truth always comes out on the court. You can try to manipulate the narrative and you can try to hide the highlights, but you cannot hide the stats and you cannot hide the wins. The fans are smarter than people give them credit for, and they can see exactly what is happening behind the scenes. The streets are telling us that the movement is only getting stronger, and anyone trying to stand in the way of that momentum is eventually going to get run over by the fans' passion. The fact that Ryan Howard is being slept on in some of these conversations is a travesty that needs to be addressed immediately. She has been absolutely balling out, yet she finds herself trailing behind names that haven't been as consistent on the floor. It just goes to show that sometimes the popularity contest can overshadow the actual performance, but the real hoopers know what is up. We need to make sure we are giving flowers to everyone who is contributing to this golden era of the game. The depth of talent right now is insane, and while the focus is on the top two, there are plenty of other women who are putting in the work to be considered among the elite in the world. As we move forward into the next phase of this season, keep a close eye on the voting numbers and the media coverage. The shift in how these players are being presented is going to tell us a lot about the future of the sport. Will the organizations finally lean into the superstars they have, or will they continue to play these strange games with the narrative? The fans have the power to influence the outcome, and by continuing to show up and vote, they are sending a message that cannot be ignored. This is the era of the player, and the fans are making sure that the stars get the shine they deserve regardless of the gatekeepers. The battle for the MVP is just the beginning of a rivalry that is going to define basketball for years to come. Whether you are rocking with CC or you are standing with Paige, there is no denying that we are witnessing something special. The intensity, the skill, and the pure drama of it all is why we love this game. The FIBA voting might have rattled the cage, but it also woke up a fan base that is ready to fight for their favorite players. Make sure you stay tuned as the tournament kicks off and the real fireworks begin. The crown is on the line, the world is watching, and it is time to see who is truly ready to claim the throne.